There we are. Hi there.
Hi,
Hi.
Cindy. How are you?
Doing good. How about you?
Good. I am really. I was so inspired by what I watched on TV on Channel Six. I think it was. There was a whole tribute going on with all the performers and singers in New Jersey. Very,
Oh,
very
the Jersey for
inspiring.
Jersey.
Yeah, very
Mm-hmm.
inspiring. And just seeing the healthcare workers and the front people on the front line, and just what they are going through, and what they're how they're helping people and putting themselves out is just so heartwarming. And once everyone starts getting on, we'll say, we'll really thank them and start it on a very positive note.
Yeah.
So here we go. Hi, Linda. How are you? So, what I request of people is please, let's make this as interactive as possible today. I'm really pumped up for this session today, and I hope you all are too. So, please sign in, tell me who you are and where you're from, and just keep, let's interact with each other. That's how we're going to be able to support each other through this whole session. So, yeah, so Linda, welcome.
Yeah.
And also let us know what you're feeling. This is really a partially a support group as well as learning to use some of the guided meditations that I'm going to be doing with you and stuff. So just let us know, what's going on for you right now. What are you feeling? I've had some people writing in and letting me know that what they've been feeling, especially those on the front lines. A couple of people wrote in to say that they're afraid for their families, and they're worried about what's going to happen to their families if they catch the virus, because they themselves are healthcare workers. I've had other healthcare workers writing in and saying they're afraid of dying because of the patients that they're seeing. So it's really heart-wrenching to hear some of this stuff that people are experiencing. So I'd like to hear from everyone, and just let me know what's going on for you, and what you guys are feeling.
Yeah,
So
we've got Carol, Sandy, and Mary also on the line.
yeah, hi Carol, welcome, and hi Sandy, and hi Mary. It's so great to see a lot of you on already. That's awesome. Everybody's on time. I've noticed that people are really on time these days. So okay, hi Barbara.
Yep.
How
Hi,
are you?
Barbara.
Yeah, how are you? Good to see you. Oh, we have Dora. Hi, Dora. Good evening. So, okay, so let us start with our quick centering, grounding, and connecting breathing exercise, so that we can all just be present here for the next, hour or so, and just really connect with each other and stay here, and provide the support that we need to provide to each other and to others, that are on the call later on. So, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Dr. Aarti Rao. I'm a cardiac psychologist. And this is just, I want to thank you all for this opportunity for me to just have these sessions, and for all of you to take time out and be here every Wednesday. You don't know how grateful and appreciative I am that you're all here. So let's get started. Oh, we have Ellen too. Hi, Ellen.
Yep,
Good to
Ellen's
see you.
on.
Welcome. Okay, so please close your eyes, and we're going to do a centering, grounding, and connecting breathing exercise. Close your eyes and take 3 deep breaths, please. Inhale deeply and exhale slowly. Another deep breath. Inhale deeply and exhale slowly. And one more deep breath. Inhale slowly, deeply, And exhale slowly. Visualize a cord that extends from the top of your head, connecting you to your higher power or God or the universe. Visualize this cord running through your body, along your spine, and extending down into the ground, connecting you to Mother Earth. Now visualize golden light, healing golden light, pouring into every cell in your body, centering you and energizing you. Visualize holding hands as a group. And inhale deeply once again. And exhale slowly. And as you exhale, send out love and acceptance to every member of our group on this call and those who may be listening to the recording later. We have now created a supportive environment for all of us to just be here for each other, to send out that love to each other and that protection and healing, and to learn from each other's questions and experiences. And know that we can be connected not just to this group here, but also feel connected to people in your family, in your neighborhood, in your towns, cities, country, and the entire world. Just sending out rays of love and light to everybody. And also visualize that that love is coming right back to us. So that is the circle of healing that we are creating right here. Now, just as I count back from 5 to 1, you will feel relaxed and energized and just very, very present here. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're all here together, completely present. Okay, everybody. So we're here. I see one more person has joined. Hi, Apolline. Good to see you. Welcome. So we're good. You know, I'm so pumped up. I was telling Cindy, I don't know if some of you heard me say that, and if I'm repeating myself, excuse me, but I've been so pumped up because I want to share with you something that is so profound and something that I thought it really has made an impact on my life for many years. This is a book that some of you may have read, and others, if you haven't read it, please do. It's one of the most well-known books written in the world and has been translated in all kinds of languages. And it's called Man's Search for Meaning. And it's by Dr. Viktor Frankl. So today I want to start off with Viktor Frankl's story. And, you know, I want to share some tips that he has given. He's no more. He passed away, I think it was 1990, but, you know, his words of wisdom live on. And I think it's so apropos for us right now at this, you know, this time of turmoil and despair and suffering and trauma that we are all facing. So I'm going to start, you know, talk about Dr. Frankl. But before I do that, let's all give out a big shout out to all the brave men and women who are on the front lines every single day, the physicians, the nurses, the hospital workers, the technicians, the police force, the first responders, I mean, the people working in the grocery stores, all the essential workers, everybody who is so selfless and who has put their lives on the line so that the rest of us can stay home and stay safe. I mean, this kind of a sacrifice is really, it's just mind-boggling what these brave people are doing for us. So let's just give them a shout out and say thank you from the bottom of all of our hearts. And I know I get choked up when I think of the sacrifices that are being made, not just every day, but every second, every minute. These people are putting themselves on the line for us. So, my deepest gratitude, and I know every one of you is going to join me in this, in giving our gratitude to all these brave men and women who are sacrificing their own lives to help the rest of us. So thank you all so very much. So talking about Viktor Frankl, Dr. Viktor Frankl was a psychiatrist and neurologist in Vienna. And we're talking back in the early 1940s. Okay, so in 1942, during the war, he was captured along with his parents, his wife, and his brother. So they were the whole family was captured and sent to different concentration camps. So Dr. Frankl, when he got to the camps, I mean, as you can imagine, I'm sure most of you have read something along the way and are aware of the incredible torture that these people went through. And so many of them, were sent to the gas chambers, etc., as we know. But Dr. Frankl lived through it all to tell the tale, if you will. So what kept him apart from those who died? Because he suffered the same torture, the same starvation, the same, 20, 22 hours of hard labor out there. He did all that. So what is it that kept him alive? So one of the things that, he talks about in this book that he ended up writing, he had started the book before, but then he started thinking about this book while he was in prison, and he writes this later. And he says that, these are some of the quotes that I want to share with you of what kept him alive. And he says, here's one quote. Give me 1 second. I have all kinds of notes sitting here. So he says, when we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. And so he says, we have the capacity to choose our attitude towards an event. So he said he could not control the fact that he was imprisoned and tortured every single day. But he said he writes and he says he told his other friends, the other inmates there, that these guards can take away and can torture our bodies. They can take away our food. They can kick us. They can insult us. They can treat us like we were worse than just like insects. I mean, they can treat us so poorly. But the one thing they cannot take away from us is what goes on in our minds, right? And what goes on in our minds is we have the choice of how we're going to respond to it. And he talks about 3 things. And he says, the first thing and the most important thing is to find meaning and purpose in life. And he says very often we wait to be told what is our purpose, and we wait for life to hand something over to us. And he says, that's not what purpose and meaning is about. He says, we need to take the opportunities and make something out of life. We need to figure out that purpose for ourselves. It's not going to be just given to us. And we have to find meaning in life, because that meaning, that is what is hope. And if hope doesn't die within us, we can weather any storm together. And that's really the message today for all of us. And I'm going to open it up so everybody can join in. But I just want to give you, what he says, and then we can have our own discussion about it. So the first thing he says is to find that meaning. He says about life that the meaning can come from purposeful work. So what is your work? So he says it doesn't, and I'm saying this to you, our meaning and purpose in life doesn't have to be like, oh, let's go out and find the next cure for cancer or even for COVID-19, right? Or even write this book like he did. No, that's not what he's talking about. He's just talking about, let's find meaning that will keep us alive and keep us going from day to day and making our lives worthwhile for us. So one way to do that, these are the 3 sources that he talks about to find meaning. So one is purposeful work. So what is it that we are doing with our lives? So please write in the chat box, what is it that you feel, the ways in which through your work, maybe, this is just one of them, I'm going to give you 2 other options, that you may be touching somebody's life. And it doesn't have to be 10 people. It could be 1 person that you are touching, right? But that gives you meaning and that gives you purpose. It could be your child that you are working for and that you are trying to change for them. It could be your spouse, it could be a neighbor, it could be, so it is the idea of getting out of ourselves and seeing the bigger picture, because that is what is going to empower us. The second thing he talks about is love. He says you can find meaning through love, right? And if we can just focus on that aspect of it, just loving each other and feeling that connectedness, whether it's with our spouses, our kids, our friends, our neighbors, whatever way that we can find through love to connect to people, and that gives us meaning for our lives. And if we can focus on that, that keeps us grounded and doesn't allow us to feel like we're being victimized, because this whole coronavirus pandemic makes us feel like, we feel trapped and we feel upset and we feel scared. We feel out of control. There's a loss of, sense of loss of control. And it's terrifying for us. And we go through these roller coaster rides all day long. The third thing he says is showing courage in the face of difficulty. So really looking for that courage, looking deep down, and we all have it. And that's what he talks about, that it's not something that only some people are blessed with. We all have it, but we need to make a choice to say, I can control my attitude and my reaction or response to whatever's going on. And I'm not going to let this virus, for instance, right now, get the better of me and turn me into, somebody who feels so helpless and so lost. Like there's something that I can do to get back my sense of, empowerment or equanimity in the face of all of this. So these were the 3 things. And the other thing he talks about is that he says, it was so important. He says, suffering is an ineradicable part of life, just as fate and death. So he says that, we tend to act shocked when we have to suffer and when things like this happen to us, because there's some expectation that we have that life should be smooth all the time. And he says it isn't. Life has its ups and downs, it's cyclical. So he says there is suffering as part of life. And as soon as we accept that there is suffering, we will be able to then pull back and look at it and accept it and say, okay, if there is suffering, what is the best way that I can handle it? So going back to Viktor Frankl's story, he talks about another inmate of his, because he was trying to get everybody to rally to his way of thinking, because later on he comes up with this form of therapy called logotherapy, which is all the few things that I told you about. He has a lot more of that stuff that he talks about, and to help people to really look at a situation differently and use the way that you respond to something to help you. So he talks about I lost my train of thought. So he talks about, this friend of his that he's trying to sort of really, rally on and get him to be more, not be so despondent and not be filled with despair. And the guy says to him one day in February of that year, he says, "Oh, Victor, I had a dream." And Victor says, "What was the dream?" He says, "The dream is that we are all going to be liberated on March 31st, and the camps are going to be liberated, and we're all going to escape. And I'm so happy, I'm so enthusiastic." And Victor says to him, "When did you have the dream?" He says, "I had it in February, but now it's going to be March 31st. But as March came along, he realized that the reports were coming in that instead of, withdrawing his forces, Hitler was, really taking on more and more territories and capturing more people and more Jews, etc. And so this guy, his friend, started losing his hope. And by the time March 31st comes around, he's lost it and he dies. And people said, oh, he died of this disease called typhus. But it wasn't. So Viktor Frankl says, no, he didn't die. Yeah, that may be an external reason, but he really died because he lost hope in his heart. And we have to hold on to that hope. So he got everybody to use humor. So one of the things he used was humor to rally everybody. And he said, we can joke around and laugh because the soldiers cannot take that away from us. And we can keep each other company and lift our spirits. So these were some of the beautiful things that Viktor Frankl said that I think we can all learn from. So if you want to just write in the chat box, what is something like in terms of purpose and meaning? What meaning are you finding in your life that you can you can focus on and say this is what's keeping me going from day to day? In terms of any of those three, your work, your love, or your courage. Which ones of those, or hope? Hanging on to hope. So please write in the chat box what you think is your purpose or your meaning in life. And I can start you off just to get you going. As my purpose is exactly what I'm doing right now. When all this started to happen, I felt as helpless and as scared, which I do, every single day. There's a roller coaster of feelings. And I thought, what is it that I can do? So for me, the meaning for my life is just if I can even touch one person, one of you, and give you a little bit of solace for even a few minutes, then I would feel really good about that. So this is my meaning that I have tried to find, in my life as my purpose. So anybody else, please write in.
As many know or have heard, I was brought up doing service for others. So, I have felt that has been my purpose, where I can find it, when I can find it. Whether it's not usually monetary donations, although those are important, but I'm more a doer or a teacher. Having, in January I had, how many did I have? I think I had 21 teenagers making 90 something meals for Caring for Friends, which is, a place in Philadelphia that services meals to those who cannot shop and cook for themselves.
Yeah.
So that I have felt has been my purpose. Not only doing for others, but teaching others to do for others.
Absolutely. And that makes you feel good, right? That you're making a contribution outside of yourself, right?
Oh my goodness. Yes. I had so much fun.
Yeah. Because I think in giving, we receive as well. When we do for somebody else, we receive the benefits of it as much as that person. So love of self, says Honeybee, which is such a wonderful thing. Yes, love of self, absolutely. Is a wonderful way to feel that and I always say, those of you who know me, self-care is not selfishness, right? Yep. So self-love falls in that category, Honeybee, and I'm so glad that you are practicing that, because that also that will help you to take care of, protect yourself or take care of your needs and take care of yourself. So love of self is really very important. Any other things, any other ways that we show, and it could be showing loving compassion to someone, or changing. If you think that, you get angry easily, for instance, maybe this is your opportunity to make some changes about that, right? And to say, okay, let me work on myself so that I'm not, just flipping out at people, but I'm trying to be calmer. Or maybe I need to show compassion to somebody else who normally gets on my nerves, but this may be a chance for me to do that. Oh, Dora has something here. She says, for me, it's the opportunity to be there to listen to someone in need and be able to pray with and for them. That's
very
beautiful,
nice.
Dora. Very, very nice.
That's beautiful.
Nice. Yeah. So these are the, so many different ways. Anybody else want to write in and say what else you're feeling? And again, it doesn't have to be big things, guys. Just think about it, because this might give you some ideas. It could be the smallest little gesture of just within your own family. It doesn't even have to be, but this is just a way of really looking for that meaning and purpose that keeps us grounded.
Yep, Sandy wrote in. She said, love helping my spouse, family, neighbors, and friends, helping friends, neighbors with food shopping.
Absolutely. Oh, that's beautiful, Sandy. That's wonderful.
Yeah, they're all great.
They're all, wonderful answers that people are writing in. I think this is really awesome. So I want you to keep writing in, but I'm going to move on and just share another piece of it, which really links everything I talked about Viktor Frankl today. And that is that Viktor Frankl, what Viktor Frankl said basically to me means that, we need to keep ourselves going in the face of adversity. Because if you give up and you lose that hope, then we start to curl up, and when I say die, it doesn't even have to be physical death, but even emotionally we die, which means we go into a state of deep depression, or feeling anxious, or just feeling helpless and feeling like there's no hope for what's going on, and then fear takes over. So we don't want that. And I was listening to Dr. Deepak Chopra, and he said something that brought it a full cycle around. And what he said was that they're noticing that the reason why those, a lot of people are dying of COVID, they've noticed that there is what he calls a cytokine. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's a protein that is in your, in the immune system. It's called cytokine. So he calls it a cytokine storm that occurs, because it's the immune system that goes kind of haywire and then attacks itself. It's almost like an autoimmune condition that occurs. And that is what then attacks the lungs, and the cells start to die off. And when that happens, you lose your lung capacity, and then it attacks the other organs. And then, people are dying of this thing. So what Deepak Chopra says is, one thing that we can do, and they've done studies on this, not a whole lot of studies yet, but I looked them up. I saw, a couple studies done to show that if we can boost our own immune system to hopefully prevent that the cytokine storm, so which is really an inflammatory response of the immune system, which we don't want. We don't want that level of high inflammatory response. So you want to calm it down. And how do we do that? So he was suggesting exactly what I've been also recommending for everybody, and I'm going to do another guided meditation in a few minutes, is to really do meditation, deep breathing, because it's going to strengthen your lungs. So we can preempt some of this by meditating, by doing the breathing exercises that I have taught you along the way, and just sort of staying present, and so and keeping the stress levels down. Because he says when the stress level is down, your adrenal glands are not going to then release cortisol and adrenaline, because high levels of cortisol and adrenaline also contribute to that, to high levels of stress, and that will contribute also to the immune system response, because the immune system then, tends to can go haywire because of the inflammation that is caused by the cortisol and adrenaline, like if you have high levels of it. So all that comes through that, we can. This is another way that we can help ourselves, is what we're saying. Not just through the finding meaning, through love, through courage in the face of difficulty, but also keeping our immune systems strong by doing these exercises that I've been teaching you guys. So I thought that was a really important point. So let's see. Some other people have written in. So Apolline says, I call my single friends every other day so they don't feel lonely. I also cook for a senior who's not able to cook. Oh, that's fantastic, Apolline. Awesome. Good for you. Kudos.
And Sandy said that helping others helps her escape her own fears.
Yes.
Yeah, I get that. I can relate.
Absolutely. And that's what, Viktor Frankl talks about, like getting out of yourself and not asking for what is life giving me, but what is it that I can give back? Because life itself, the fact that we are able to breathe and live, life itself is a huge gift to us. And we want to use this precious gift and not just wait and waste it, right? You want to be able to give back, because in giving back, you get so much back from your actions. So these are some beautiful things people are really doing.
Mm-hmm.
So and there's so much that other things that people are thinking, when you watch TV, you see these really very, very heartwarming stories of what people are, doing for each other as well, right? Cindy, you've
Yep.
read a lot of those positive stories. Did you come across any more this week?
Not so much. I've been distancing myself from news media and social media.
Yeah.
this week, so I haven't come across a ton. I know that when for Easter this year, somebody in our neighborhood painted rocks and dropped them by all the mailboxes in our neighborhood.
Yeah.
Very beautiful rocks. So we're excited to have ours. I know that, the kids' birthdays, they're starting to plan parades. Like poster board was dropped off around the neighborhood. And there was a parade on Monday at 3 on the street next to ours for a little girl's birthday.
Yeah.
So people
I heard that.
making things like that. So those are what I've been seeing more of, very local to me.
Yeah.
Sort of stuff. I know that, Saturday was the big concert of At Home Together by Lady Gaga, where they were sharing a lot of stories. And tonight was Jersey for Jersey by Bruce Springsteen.
Yes.
So I'm sure that there were stories shared on those.
Yeah, those are really beautiful. So let's see if there was yeah, I was just looking to see if there was something else about Viktor Frankl. But anyway, the bottom line of what he was saying is that distinguished, all the points that I just made were the ones that distinguished why some lived through the Holocaust and some just didn't. Because there were people who were committing suicide even because they couldn't take the torture and all that anymore. And Viktor Frankl actually, before he was captured, etc., had run a program teaching high school students and others how to prevent them from committing suicide and how to manage their depression and actually prevent it. So he was well versed in helping people to not get to that depths of depression and committing suicide. So he uses all these techniques that we were just talking about to help even his fellow prisoners, but some of them couldn't get it and they gave in to that, to the torture and stuff, and a lot of them committed suicide, even those who are not sent to the gas chambers. So he says, what distinguishes those who make it through crisis, and what is it that that doesn't? So anybody else want to share how they're feeling? Like, how was this week for you guys? You can type in and tell me what's been going on. And if there are any questions, I'll be happy to answer as well. Before we do our guided meditation, I have a really nice guided meditation for you guys today as well, which kind of ties into both Viktor Frankl's and Deepak Chopra's messages, So I'll do that in a couple minutes. So any comments or questions, please write in.
This week has been, we're here. Oh, Carol wrote, I'm feeling stressed because her students are on the front line and some of them are going through very stressful personal issues. Yeah, Carol, that's...
Yeah. That is really, really very, very hard, very hard. So, but the fact that, you're there for them, Carol, and lending your support to them, I think goes a long ways. And you can certainly do that. and maybe even have them join, these sessions on Wednesday nights would be a really good thing as well, so that they have some sense of a comfort and some sense of support that they can get from here. But I really feel for you, because that's a big responsibility you have, in terms of feeling stressed and worrying about your students.
Yeah. Yeah.
How are other people? Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
There's, you know people, everybody knows people on the front lines, and then you see these, oh, Linda wrote in, still feeling anxious. Her husband went back to work after being out for a few weeks. Oh, 3 people tested positive.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, hang in there, Linda.
Yeah. Yeah, we empathize. We definitely do. My niece is a surgeon in San Diego, and I worry for her every single day, because even though she's a surgeon, it's all hands on deck, is what she told me. So she's had to work, with coronavirus patients, even though that normally would not have been something she would do. But right now, everybody, all hands on deck. So I can absolutely, and she has a little, 10-year-old boy. So I know how nerve-wracking it is for people when you're working with people who've been tested positive.
Yep. Keep the hands washed, keep the masks on. I know in my daughter's grocery store that they started, well, in the whole state, I think they started implementing that you have to have a mask on in order to go into like a grocery store. And I know that one of the customers that was approached on Saturday as a, precaution, not as a precaution, but to let them know, said he wasn't going to put one on.
Yeah.
Like, what? Come on.
That's unreal.
You won't be back.
Yeah. If each one of us did what we're supposed to do, I think that would help people on the front lines so much, and all, right? Even in the grocery stores and in the hospitals and everywhere else, if every one of us, took responsibility for ourselves and stayed home and used our gloves and masks and took all the precautions, I think we could really, beat this virus. We really could. So Linda, with anxiety, I really would recommend that you do the breathing exercises that I've taught you guys to do, which is just every hour for just 1 minute. For those of you who have not heard my talks before, you want to do that on a regular basis, because just to rewire your system, because our nervous system is really on overdrive at this point every single day. So you want to keep it sort of calm down, and the only way to do that is to use these meditative exercises. And for those who are not familiar with it, the breathing exercise, and we can really do that right now if you like for a second. And before I go into the bigger meditation, just the breathing, you want to just breathe in to a count of 4 through your nose, and visualize that you're breathing in just calmness and relaxation and peace and just a sense of centeredness. And then when you breathe out through your mouth to a count of about 6 or 8, preferably 8, but you might get a little dizzy initially if you're not used to it. So you want to just breathe out to a count of maybe 6 for starters, and you breathe out the negative feelings that you're feeling. So if you're feeling anxious, you breathe out the anxiety, or you breathe out the frustration or the loss of control or the anger or whatever it is that you're feeling. You can breathe that out. So let's just try that for a moment, because I think it'll help everyone as a refresher here. So I'm going to ring my bowl here, and I'd like you to all please close your eyes. And just breathe in very slowly to a count of 4, 3, 4. Breathe in and breathe out to a count of 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in again to a count of 4, 3, 2, 1. And breathe out to a count of 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in to a count of 4, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out to a count of 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in to a count of 4, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out to a count of 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And one last time, breathe in to a count of 4, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out to a count of 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Keep your eyes closed for 10 to 15 seconds and just observe and notice what you're feeling and how that made you feel. Okay. Please write in the chat box what you experienced. And this was just for a minute. And my recommendation is, and this is evidence-based, again, it's not something I made up. If you practice this for 1 minute, which is 5 to 6 breaths, we did about 6 today. So 5 to 6 breaths, you breathe in for 1 minute every hour. You can either put your alarm on, or there's a mindfulness bell app that you can get, which will, it'll sound just like this, very, very slowly. It'll sound this bell every hour for you if you wish. Or you can tie it to something that you already do, like, going to the bathroom, having breakfast, lunch, dinner. So you can tie it to something else that you already do so that you remember to associate it with something else. And I'm telling you, it'll really start to rewire your nervous system and make you feel so much better and so much calmer than you normally feel. So I highly recommend that. And again, just breathe in the calmness into your heart, and you want to breathe out whatever stress you're feeling. And if you don't even know what you're feeling, just visualize the stress, just letting it go out from your body and just breathing in the calmness. And it's going to help you a lot. So can you please write in the text box, the chat box, what you're feeling? Oh, I think Mary also wrote, I'm feeling sad because my grandson's birthday is April 27th and I can't go to visit him. Separation from family is extremely hard, and it seems that it will be for an extended time. I'm sorry to hear that, Mary, but maybe you can do a Zoom party for him. Just have all your children and your grandchildren on the call and celebrate that way.
Carol's having a hard time staying awake. She got relaxed during your breathing exercise.
Oh, you got so relaxed. Yeah, yay. So really, this 1 minute exercise can be very, very powerful. So, okay, folks, I'm going to do the guided meditation for everybody now. So just sit back or lie back in a very comfortable position, and we will get started.
Oh, Sandy's calmer, and so is Apolline. Great.
Calm. Oh, yeah. Sandy said she's calmer. And Apolline said she's calm. So you can see how powerful this exercise is. I mean, it sounds like it's not a whole lot, but it's just 1 minute, 5 or 6 breaths will reset you. It's the way that your brain can reset and take you out of that fight or flight that you're feeling. And if there are any, first responders and others on the call, you can do this even as you're rushing from post to pillar. And I know how busy you guys are, and there's no time to think, but this is just 1 minute, and you can do it even as you're rushing by, just doing it for 1 minute, 5 or 6 breaths, the way that I told you to do, or do it even when you're going to the bathroom, or do it when you're drinking, just a little bit of water, or even going from patient to patient, you can do that, and it'll absolutely reset your brain and give you that bit of breather that you really need. So Linda writes, I love this exercise. I use it frequently throughout the day. That's awesome. So Mary says the breathing is like a reset. Absolutely. It's like hitting the reset button. You know, remember Staples used to have the easy button that we, and you would just hit. So this is like setting the reset button. So please use it, and it will be so helpful. So you can see from the remarks that comments that people are making. Barbara says, this works. I've been doing it for a while, and makes me feel calmer. Okay, so for those of you who are not used to it and those listening to the recording later, please do it. It'll go a long ways. It's based in neuroscience and evidence-based neuroscience, and it'll really help to reset the brain. Okay, guys, we're ready for an anxiety meditation that I'm going to be doing with you. So please now just sit back in a comfortable chair, use a blanket if you like, make yourself comfortable, or just lie down in your bed if you wish, and we will get started now. So let's first begin by closing your eyes and taking a deep breath in, filling your belly with air and expanding it as big as you can. And when you can't breathe in anymore, exhale all the air out through your nose, tightening your stomach to take the out breath all the way to the end. And breathe one more deep breath in and let it all out. Bring your breath back to its normal rhythm, and bringing your attention onto your body, feeling your chest rise and fall with the motion of your breathing. Feeling the cool air on your nose as you breathe in, and the warm air on your nose as you breathe out. Feel your shoulder lower and relax. Feel your cheeks soften and your jaw release. Let your tongue fall down from the roof of your mouth. Feel your arms getting heavier and heavier and sinking further and further into relaxation. Let your stomach soften and relax. And feel your legs get heavy and relax. Feel your body melt deeper and deeper into your relaxed position. Breathing out any extra tension or pain that might be lingering. As you sit here or lie down, thoughts may be popping up in your mind. Maybe these thoughts look like headlines or images you've been seeing on the news. Perhaps these thoughts look like numbers, the number of cases, the number of the market impact. Maybe these thoughts are about the impact on yourself, how it can or is already affecting your life, your health, your business, your kids, your schedule, your event, your family, your community. Maybe these thoughts are heavy with visions of all the worst case scenarios painted bright in your mind. See all of these thoughts inside your head, watching as they swirl around, creating a hurricane of worry, stress, anxiety, and fear. Feel how powerful that hurricane is, but it's outside of you. It's not inside. You're watching it from a glass window. Look at the energy that it has, but it's again outside. It's not inside. All this energy of the hurricane, though, is what you've been carrying around for quite a while. And it's impacted everything else in your life because you allowed it to just come in. Your focus, it's impacted your sense of safety and health, your regular activities, your work, your connection with others. So look at the hurricane as it swirls in front of you and notice that you see something very, very important. And this is the distinction between the facts and the emotions. The facts are standing still outside the hurricane. And the emotions, the fear, the stress, the worry, the anxiety, are what's causing the motion of the hurricane. And they are completely normal emotions to be feeling right now. So take a deep breath at this moment, looking at this hurricane of emotion outside of you. It's not inside. And realize that you are in charge of whether or not you allow its energy in today, or whether you keep it at bay outside of yourself so that it doesn't hurt you in any way. You have your life to live today. And although the coronavirus is very real and deserves attention from you, the moment right now is when you get to decide whether to invite in the facts that will help you navigate your day, or whether you will invite in the chaos of the hurricane of emotions. And no matter what you decide, it's all okay. It's a practice to control what you can and let go of what you can't. As you continue your day and recognize the emotions when they arise, the fear, the worry, the obsession with updates, and simply honor them, and then place them into this hurricane swirling outside of you, not inside, outside. Let it be your container to hold it all while you get connected to the present moment, to what actually is in your life right now. Let the beauty of what is in your life at this moment pull you into the present moment so you can choose what to pay attention to and what to let go of. So think for a moment of all the positive things in your life, people you love, your family members, your spouse maybe, your partners, your children, perhaps your grandchildren, perhaps your siblings, perhaps your other relatives, nieces and nephews, your friends, all these people who you love so much and who love you back. Focus on them. Focus on the energy and love that they're sending you. Focus on the healing that they are sending you. Know that they're there for you, and nothing that this virus can do is going to take that away from you. That you can be strong and keep all the negative emotions at bay. That you can choose what you want to pay attention to. Do you want to invite the hurricane in, the negative hurricane, or do you want to just focus on the positives and create a firewall around you to keep away all these negative fears and anxieties? Make that choice and feel the energy coursing through your body. And also feel that sense of peace and security. And know that you have the strength, you have the courage to keep yourself protected and fight this invisible enemy. And now begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes, allowing your relaxed body to awaken. Feel your body rise and fall with your breath. Feel that wave of relaxation just going over you from the top of your head right down to your toes. Feel that wave of relaxation and healing that is going from the top of your head, washing over every part of your body, right down to your toes. And now breathe in the gratitude for this moment. Breathe in the gratitude for knowing that you can tap into that part of yourself that knows how to stay centered, that part that knows that you're going to be okay despite everything going on around you, that you can find that peace deep within yourself, trusting that you will have everything you need to deal with the facts as they evolve. And in this space of peace, say a silent prayer of compassion, of love and healing for all those whose lives have been directly impacted. And also a prayer of compassion, love, and healing for yourself and for your family members and friends and relatives and everybody that you love. Imagine the healing spreading all over the globe as you root yourself in love, self-love as well as love for everybody else, even people you don't know, people who are strangers, but who are working hard to make it safer for you. So send that gratitude out and watch the healing spreading all over the globe. And now I will slowly count back from 10 to 1, and you will find yourself being present back in this space, feeling relaxed and yet alert. 10, 9, 8. You're feeling very, very relaxed and calm and yet alert. 7, 6, 5. Feeling very, very relaxed and yet coming back and being present with us in this group. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. You're back with me here in this space, feeling relaxed and just hopefully calmer and more at peace than when we started. So I hope that was helpful to everybody. Please write in the chat box how you felt with this meditation.
It was very relaxing.
You feel relaxed?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I love all your meditations. I get into them. You get into them. I know other people get into them.
I do. I put myself into a meditative trance at the end of every one of them. So I have to be vigilant because otherwise, I will sort of go off into some zone and not come back. So I guess everybody's either asleep or they're just zoned out. That happens quite often. But
it was a very relaxing one, an empowering one. And, you get to choose and,
Yeah.
I hope that people choose the courage. I hope they're able to. I know that my emotions run. Doris said, we got a lot of comments all of a sudden.
A lot of comments. Yeah, Dora says that was very helpful. Thank you, Dora. Linda says, very relaxing. It was great concentrating on the fears and not letting them inside. Yeah, that's what I wanted for you guys, to visualize that there's a hurricane, but it's outside. You're protected. And it's your choice whether you want to let that into yourself and then allow it to affect you, or keep it outside. You can watch it because it's real, it's happening, but you don't have to invite it in. You can invite the healing in and the protection, but keep the hurricane outside. So Carol says, much more relaxed than when I started this program. Awesome, awesome. And Appeline says, thank you so much, Aarti. It was very relaxing. Thank you. Thank you guys for your wonderful comments. And, I'm so glad that it's helping people. That's what this is all about. It really is about helping you. Sandy says that was a wonderful session. Thank you.
Oh, Mary said it was a healing exercise. That it was.
Yeah.
It definitely was.
Yeah, because, we cannot. Brune Mateo says, hey, ladies. Here from
Brazil.
Oh, wow.
COVID is killing a lot. It is everywhere. Yeah. I know, Bruno.
Welcome, Bruno. Yeah, I'm so sorry to hear that. It's, it's really wreaking havoc on everybody all over the world. But I appreciate you joining our group. And I hope the guided meditation helped you too, Bruno. Sandy says, have a good night, everyone. So, yes, good night, Sandy. I hope to see you on the call next Wednesday. So, so thank you, everybody. You can still write in later on, there's in our comment boxes later on, if you wish, and let us know how this helped. And again, this was a healing exercise, and I wanted you all to know that, yes, we're feeling all these emotions, these negative emotions, but we can also, make a choice to say we're not going to let them in. And that is really the message of the guided meditation. So
share this amongst your friends. These are not coming down. They're staying up. We do them every Wednesday at 8 Eastern time in the United States. So, yeah.
So please join us next Wednesday, same time, same place, 8 o'clock in the night. And I, again, thank you from the bottom of my heart for taking your time out to be here with all of us today. I really appreciate it. And Bruno says, yes, my friends, we all hope God can help us and our doctors get blessed to heal all the world. Amen to that, Bruno. You really said it all in such a beautiful way. And, that's my prayer as well. And I'm sure it's everybody's prayer to God to help us get through this, through these really tough times. So thank you all again for joining us. And, my gratitude to everybody, my thoughts and prayers for everybody who has been affected by this virus in many different ways and are suffering. So a shout out to everybody. And thank you, and I will see you next Wednesday, same time, same place. And please join Happiness Achievers. We have a free group for those of you who are not already there. Please join the free Facebook group. It's called Seeking Happiness.
I'm sorry, with Dr. Aarti Rao.
Programs. It's I made a mistake. It's Seeking Happiness with Dr. Aarti Rao. So please join our group, and we'd love to have you there as well. Okay, take care, everybody. Good night. Stay safe, stay home, stay well, stay protected, and God bless you all. Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you, Cindy.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.